my family and stuff. But that's the only downside. It's brilliant crack. Marvin, where would be your dream venue to play? Well, I'd love to sing in the Sydney Opera House, just because when I was a kid I wanted to be an opera singer, and I'm actually going to do a song there next month. It was part of a Nick Drake tribute concert thing called Way to Blue, and I'm going to get to sing a song there, so that's going to be amazing. And then after that I will think up a new dream venue, of course. Roman, if you were not a musician, what would you like to be? I don't know. I think I think I'd maybe, I was going to say a vet, but I actually don't know whether I'd have a temperament to be a vet. I think I'd find it quite difficult. But I'd like to work with animals somehow, or maybe in a sanctuary or something. Maybe not actual, slicing and dicing. Jan, do you have a role model? Yeah, loads. I think it's probably best not to just have the one. Yeah, a few. Sorry, they're flying up there. Andrew, do you find yourself writing music or lyrics first as a song comes together? Usually, Andrew, I'll be humming. I'll get a line or something, either messing on the guitar or just like wandering about, and then that'll sort of be the peg that I hang the song on, and usually I'd go for a walk and kind of just mumble away to myself. So it's kind of lyrics and melody, and then usually I'll figure out the chords afterwards. But not always, it does change. Marcus, what's your favourite holiday? Haven't been on a classic holiday in ages, because I don't really feel the need with all the travelling that I luckily get to do with the touring. That's kind of a holiday in itself, really. Matthew, is there a new instrument you want to learn? I've started learning the violin, much to the horror of my flatmates. I started that a while ago, and it really doesn't get easier very quickly. It's horrible. But I'm going to get some lessons. I've just been kind of playing by myself, but I'm going to get some lessons, and hopefully they'll be able to knock me in the right direction, because I would love, even if it takes me 20 years, I'd be a 50-year-old person that could play the violin, which would be amazing. So it's worth it. Ale Fields, from your childhood, which is your happiest memory? I think myself and my brother used to play in rock pools down in Baltimore, where the sea would come in and fill them up and then leave all these sort of pools filled with anemones and tiny little shrimps and things like that, and we used to just sit there for hours and play with these sort of tiny worlds, sort of a microcosm of the sea, and I absolutely loved it. And yeah, I think that's probably. What were you like when you were in grade school? Jenna, I don't know what grade school means. Is that when you're like a child? Is that like grade school? Very young. I don't know. I was quite. I really liked going to school. I really liked learning things, and liked learning my spelling. Yerbal, do you speak any other languages? I used to speak French pretty well, and I am useless at it now. Although I hope if I would go to France for a while, or I was in Montreal the other day, I could barely string two words together. But I would hope if I went back there, I would be able to pick it up again. And I can speak a bit of Irish, but I wouldn't be proficient at it. Do you have any pets? I used to have a cat, Stevens, and he was kind of a stray. And then when I moved house, I sort of couldn't really take him with him, so he stayed in the house with the other people. But my cat Stevens, he was. I mean, he hated me. He fully hated me, but I loved him desperately. What is your favorite thing about America? I don't know if you can pick a favorite thing about such a giant, giant thing. Sorry, this is for Holly. I love how incredibly vast it is. There's something so magical about how vast the continent is. You know, you just feel like such a tiny speck. Mark, Lisa, could you record an album of you speaking, please? Wow, really? I think I sound like a sort of a trucker, but with too much of a cigarette problem. But thanks very much, Mark, for the compliment. I always feel my voice sounds really deep and monotone. Anyway, Paul Bradley, who was your favourite Beatle? George Harrison? Jonathan, if you could go back and live in another time period, what would it be? I think I would like to live in the 30s for a bit. I think it was a really interesting time for art and things. Here we go. Sorry, lad. Trudy, why are there so many references to birds? Yeah, there is in this record. There is. Well, my very best friend, I call her Bird, and she calls me Bird, and that is some of it. But other times it's just sort of used as a metaphor for something, like in Little Bird. The little bird in that song is, a metaphor for sort of a survival instinct, really. And I suppose because the record is about being transient and always changing and moving, I suppose that it's more of a fitting metaphor than the solidity, I suppose, of the sea of the last record. Maybe that's why, but you're right. I don't know why that happened. Rafe, how do you manage to keep your poetry so concise and creative? Oh, thanks very much. And yet retain the depth that comes with further listenings. Well, I don't know, but thank you very much for the compliment, Rafe. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I work hard on those lyrics, so I'm glad you like them. Tessa, what is your favourite season of the year? Probably autumn. I do like a crunchy leaf underfoot. Okay, I'll answer one more. What is your larger inspiration, real life or imagination? Usually real life, Jared. Usually real life, though. Sometimes you have to use your imagination to try and figure out what real life's all about, eh? Okay, I'm going to play another song now. What shall I play? I'm going to play a song called Paper House, I think. Let me tune up. I don't know, lads. Really acting up my guitar. Oh well. Richard, are you going to be on Colbert again, or maybe Letterman this time? Well, I would love to. If they asked me, I'll be there in a second. Sorry, it just flashed up. Somebody said Paper House in brackets. Yes, I'm playing Paper House. This is for you. Sorry, I've lost your name now. You've gone down the list. If I can tune the guitar, I will. Fascinating, I know. Sorry lads, my guitar's just been a nightmare. Safia, just play, Lisa, even if it's out of tune. I know I should, but it's really, it bothers me, and it will bother you too. Okay, I'm gonna start at the beginning. E is a little sharp. See, the trouble is, when you put the capo on, it changes. Lads, we will give it a go. Don't worry, it sounds lovely. Thanks, Lee.